All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to this week's stock market outlook video and weekly watch list video. Today, as always, we're going to run through the market indexes, leading stocks, key moves from last week, and there's a lot to talk about this week and a lot of stocks setting up that we'll get into shortly. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and this is brought to you by the Trade Lab and DeepView. DeepView, we're going to be reopening signups very soon. So make sure if you're interested to sign up for the waitlist that's linked down below. It'll be on a first come, first serve basis. So if you want to join soon, definitely go ahead and put your name down on that waitlist. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in. Starting with the indexes, as always, we were in a short-term downtrend last week from this unfilled gap down. You can see we tried to rally and bounce here, and a lot of stocks acted well. And then we really reversed hard on this day, Thursday, and then followed through on the Friday open. And then at about 12 p.m. Eastern time, started rallying off the 50-day moving average and closed right near highs. So short-term direction is to be decided. I'm expecting some follow through next week. The 21 EMA, this area, as well as this key line in the sand, will be an area to watch if there's a downside reversal off that area. But things are shaping up, and I like the look of individual stocks looking through all my screens. So I'm expecting some fall through to the upside and potentially the start of a short-term move upwards, reclaiming that moving average. But we'll have to see what happens. The expectation is fall through. If we reverse down, that would be a negative, and this low and the 50 SMA, of course, are key areas to the downside if we do get back down to that point. This is a pretty steep decline. We dropped about 6% to the Friday low in just a matter of time. Fear jumped back into the market, which is good. That's great to see. And things are kind of setting up potentially for a year-end rally, but we'll have to see, of course, what happens and play the cards as they are actually dealt. Looking at the IWM, the smaller caps have been weaker. Big upside reversal, oops reversal through this Thursday low, but we're below all those moving averages. So the larger cap names are still acting better, and but this looks set up for fall through higher. We've got an undercut and rally of this entire base, and potentially set the stage for strong action early next week. Looking at IBIT, this has been choppy and in a downtrend ever since this sell-off, and potentially starting to form out the base low here. What was key is we retested this low, slightly undercut it, and then closed really strong. So this level is the key spot and potentially the start of a bottoming process. Like I said right here, there's no fall through lower. So we'll see if we can rally higher, pop back through the 200-day moving average, and start forming higher highs and higher lows up the right hand side of the base, still below all these declining moving averages. But we did see some good action in, for instance, coin, showing similar kind of bottoming type signs. So we'll see if that can follow through. Let's now get into the market leadership. Starting off, we've got Apple. This has been trending nicely, forming a range here, holding up well against a 10 EMA. Some wicks up here, so watching for a range breakout to the upside and continuation of this trend. MU trending beautifully, nothing much to say here. Just in a strong uptrend. There's no real buy points at this point. The last one was probably through a pop higher or an undercut and reclaim of the 10 EMA here. But just trending and nothing much to do if you own it or if you don't at this point. Amazon, strong action on this gap, and this should be a mega cap to focus on if we continue higher from this point, but pulled in hard back to the 10 EMA as well as this base pivot area, but strong action Friday. So I'd love to see an inside day or reconfirmation to the upside through this high. BE, again, similar to MU, just a very strong trend. It's been basing and forming a range since this earnings gap, and a big upside reversal on Friday. So watching for follow through and through this high would be actionable, and this is on my focus list. Meta, the weakest of all of them, gap down and fall through lower, but we've got an upside reversal, so potential for a short-term momentum change early next week. Google, similar to Apple, just trending nicely above that 10 EMA and forming a range overall, so watching for a breakout to the upside for Google. Intel has held up really nicely, especially relative to NVIDIA and some other semiconductor names, watching for a re-breakout through this key level, and I like how it's holding above that 21 EMA when a lot of these names have gotten hit very, very hard. For instance, we've got NVIDIA broke below this range on this day, failed rally here reconfirm down, and then fall through, and actually broke below this base pivot one more time. Big upside reversal. This is a little bit of a mystery. There's so many mysteries in the market, but this price action is just very whippy and wide and loose. It's not uniform. It's not orderly. It's not what I like to see. But if we can firm up here above the base pivot, it could set up a spot for a break through the 21 EMA. And we do have earnings upcoming later in November. November 19th is when they're estimated. And we'll see if it can firm up until then and act well, on that report. Palantir gap down on earnings, reconfirmation down here on Thursday, but we've got an upside reversal. So short-term downtrend, potential trend change early next week. AMD has held up better than most semis, but we are below that 21 EMA, so watching for a pop higher through that level, as well as this key level as well. VRT, strong action here, but pulling back with everything else, and upside reversal on Friday. So a lot of these have pretty much the same look. Tesla, obviously we had the Musk package after hours on Thursday that was passed, but we did pull into the 50 SMA, potentially actionable off that spot, and we'll see if it can firm up against that level and then pop higher. This is overall a constructive 12% deep base, so this should be a focus of people. I think this is probably the liquid leader along with Google and Apple. Those are the names that are acting the best as of right now. Looking at some key moves from late last week, let's go ahead and sort the DeFi leaders by percent change. We had a bunch more gap ups. GMed, GCT, really strong move here. This is more of a performance enhancer type name, but strong action on earnings. Frog, one to watch going forward, either for an HVC reclaim or a post gap range breakout, acting well. And you've got a bunch of other gap ups as well. EOS, this caught my eye, strong breakout here. I think earnings were this day. It firmed up a little bit and breaking through here. And this is a very fast mover, but one to watch going forward if you're a swing trader and like these type of momentum type names. And bringing up my larger list for next week, we have a wide variety of stuff. We've got names in oil and gas. We've got energy names, a lot of those AI related names. So let's go ahead and run through these. Pepsi, watching for a breakthrough here. And that wasn't Pepsi, that was Pepsi. Excuse me if you couldn't hear me, but the ticker is always right here. Watching for a range breakout. This is one that can make a nice move, and watching for a reconfirmation to the upside in this name. Prem, watching for, and let me bring up my data panel here to show that as well. There we go. So this is a minor, watching for a range breakout. You've got a recent earnings gapper, and basically watching for a post gap range breakout. TNK, this is also a theme that's been acting well. STNG was one I highlighted for this flag breakout last week, and acting well. And TNK, kind of that same theme, watching for a breakthrough this inside day high and a range breakout from this consolidation. Moving on, we've got GH, watching for a post gap range breakout, another inside day. So watching for a push through to the upside, managing risk at the low of the day or the prior day's low. Illumin, another inside day within a post gap range consolidation. Could get a little bit tighter, but watching for a move to the upside. This was a powerful move higher, up 24% on a big increase in volume. FLS, this is one I've been watching for a while, basically watching for a push higher after this HVC reclaim on Friday and a move higher. This is AI data center and I think nuclear cooling related. So there's a few themes going on with this name. Super powerful on this earnings gap. So that's kind of why I'm more focused on this name. VAV, another recent earnings gapper, watching for a range breakout to the upside, actionable on Friday through this high, saying your stop here, but watching for fall through to the upside. Hopefully we get a gap down or slight gap down and then a push through, so it gets a little bit more easier to manage that risk. TARS, watching for a move higher. Biotech, pharma, Amgen's been acting well. This is another theme worth mentioning, and this one can make a nice move in a short amount of time, so watching for a re-breakout through this range through these recent highs. Liberty in the oil and gas space, this is more of a turnaround play after this momentum, and basically watching for a flag breakout, upside reversal to end last week. GSAT satellites, another recent theme. If we bring up ASTS, if I can type, here we go. ASTS, nope, I can't type. ASTS, there we go. This one, nice upside reversal on Friday. You can watch for a push through higher if you like these kind of bottoming ranges setups, or actionable off the 50-day. But this name, kind of that same theme, strong trend, definitely a very fast mover. So be ready for that. There's more of a swing trader type setup as well as name, and watching for a range breakout through these highs. Rhombus semiconductor theme, watching for a base breakout, a nice upside reversal to end Friday. And if the semiconductors rally, Nvidia rallies, this is going to do really well. And this one can really make a strong move in a short amount of time. PAR, oil and gas name, watching for consolidation breakout. This one can trend nicely when it gets going. FLNC, watching for a breakout through these recent highs, and then a consolidation breakout here. And this is another one that can trend nicely once it gets going. PL, watching for 21 EMA reclaim, actionable at the 50 SMA here, but watching for a push through that key level, and ideally a range breakout at the same point. So basically a wedge pop, watching for a wedge pop through this area. BE, we've mentioned before, watching for pop higher. INTC, watching for a range breakout here. And Tesla, depending on how it acts, actionable at the 50 SMA, an intraday buy point, managing risk at these lows. Or if it firms up and forms a tight range a little bit higher in the base, that would be definitely my focus as well. But I like this constructed base. It's chopping a lot of people up, which I think is a good thing. But overall is staying pretty tight. 12% base is pretty darn tight for a name like Tesla. So definitely a name to have on your radar if you're not already in this name. So that's pretty much it for this video. This might be a little bit quicker, so sorry about that. If you want any feedback on any names you're watching, drop maybe your top 3 ideas for next week down below in the comment section. And if you have any thoughts on the market or the ideas I went through, let me know down below as well. And if you're watching until this point, thanks so much for staying until the end. Leave a like down below if you haven't already. It helps me out immensely. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys in future videos. Take care.